This is Stephanie Martin with Homestar, and I'm here today to talk about the steps to getting a mortgage. If you're buying a home or doing a refinance of your existing mortgage, you may be wondering how the whole mortgage process works. Knowing where you are in the process and what the next steps are can be very helpful. Let's begin with step 1, which is submitting an application. You can complete a mortgage application online, in person, or over the phone. Once you have submitted an application, I will contact you to ask some additional questions. The next step is to see how much you qualify for, which takes us to step number 2, qualification. Buying a home. If you're buying a home, we can provide a pre-qualification or pre-approval letter so that you know how much money you can borrow so you can go out and look at homes. Refinancing a home. When you refinance an existing mortgage, you may simply be wanting to change the terms of your loan to a lower rate or get a fixed rate if you are currently in an adjustable rate mortgage, otherwise known as an ARM. Or you may simply want to take money out, which is called a cash out refinance. Whichever one you want to do, you will need to know how much you qualify for. Whether you are buying or refinancing, we will ask you some initial questions, like how much you earn, how much you have in savings, how much do you owe on your credit cards, cars, etc. This will help us find out what programs are available for you and how much you may qualify for. This brings us to the next step. Step 3, documentation. You will begin by sending in your documentation. This is the information we will need to qualify you for your loan. I will tell you exactly what we need and make it quite simple for you to send it to us. Once we have given you the initial information, we will send you paperwork that's called disclosures, which is the next step. Step number 4, disclosures. You will receive a set of disclosures. The disclosures are called a loan estimate and will include all of your costs of the loan. The loan estimate is a 3-page disclosure that details the costs associated with the mortgage loan. There are other disclosures that are required by law to be sent. It is important to review the disclosures and let me know if you have any questions. Once you let me know you've received the disclosures and signed, that means that you're ready to move ahead. This is called an intent to proceed, which is the next step. Step number 5, intent to proceed. The intent to proceed is usually completed electronically, which means that you are ready to move ahead in the process to the next step. Step number 6, ordering the appraisal. Once you electronically sign the initial paperwork, your home appraisal will be ordered. Some loan types allow for an appraisal waiver, and if you are fortunate to receive this, then we will not need to order an appraisal. The first step in getting your appraisal will be setting the appointment for the appraiser to come out and inspect your home. The appraiser will call you to set up a time that is convenient to inspect your home. If you are buying a home, your agent will be contacted to set the appointment. Once your appraisal is ordered, your loan file will move on to the next stage, which is gathering and reviewing any missing documentation. Step number 7, processing. You may work with the processor who will be handling your loan file. The processor will review the documentation you have submitted to ensure that the file is complete. The processor's main job is to be a liaison between you, myself, and the underwriter assigned to the loan file. The processor looks for proper calculations to ensure that the debt-to-income ratio on the loan is accurate and orders flood certificates, mortgage payoffs, and various other documents. Step number 8, underwriting. Once the processor has received all documentation necessary to support the information in a loan file, they submit the loan to the underwriter for approval. In most cases, after underwriting, an initial approval or a conditional approval will be issued. This means that the file is approved, but the approval is subject to certain conditions. We will let you know if there is anything else that we need from you. Time is of the utmost importance, so if we contact you for additional information, you will want to be sure to respond in a timely manner so that your loan file keeps moving along. It is the underwriter's responsibility to ensure that every loan meets the lender/investor's required guidelines. The underwriter reviews the validity of the appraised value, calculates the income used for the loan, and runs various loan fraud checks. If questions arise during this review, the underwriter will request follow-up documentation as needed. Communication is key. In a purchase transaction, many moving parts must come together at the same time for the file to proceed to a smooth close. Sellers, buyers, real estate agents, and title companies or attorneys all have tasks and responsibilities that must be coordinated. It is very important for us to remain in close contact with all involved parties and to make sure each one is aware of any potential pitfalls or delays that may arise. Step 9, closing. Once the file has been given the clear to close by the underwriting department, it moves to the closing department. In a refinance transaction, closing is scheduled with you, the borrower, and we will inform the title company and closing department of the requested time and date. In a purchase transaction, the closing date is negotiated between the buyer and the seller of the property, and that date is included in the sales contract. Once the title company receives closing instructions, we will work with the title company to prepare the closing package. The closing disclosure must be received by the borrowers at least 3 business days prior to consummation. This is typically where you sign your final closing documents. It is important that you acknowledge getting and receiving your closing disclosure immediately. We will work with you and let you know when to expect your CD, and as well as how to acknowledge it. This is important because there is a 3-day waiting period between the time you acknowledged receiving the closing disclosure and the time you can actually sign and close on your home loan. Step 10, funding. When loan documents have been signed by the borrowers and the 3-day rescission period is passed, on a primary residence refinance transaction, loan funds are dispersed. Prior to funding, we will review the signed documents and ensure that any prior to funding conditions have been cleared on the loan file. There certainly are several steps in the home loan process, but the great news is that our team is here to help you throughout the entire process. Thanks for watching. This is Stephanie Martin with Homestar Financial Corporation. Call me, Stephanie, at 770-283-4527, or you can reach me at my email address, stephanie.martin@homestarfc.com. I look forward to working with you soon.